Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well today. It's a Monday. If you work today, maybe it was a rough one, so I'd like you to let it go. Whatever's going on, just let it go. Roll the shoulders back, close your eyes. Let's lay down flat on our backs on the mat and come into a comfortable, reclined position where we can close our eyes and breathe deeply. Place one hand on your chest, one hand on your abdomen if they're not already there. And I'd like you to feel your breath under your palms. So we're not just breathing into the upper chest, but as you inhale, fill the chest, the back, and the abdomen with fresh air. And then as your body relaxes, release in the same order. Let the abdomen relax, and then exhale, relaxing the chest and back. So we want to have these nice deep breaths throughout our practice. The more we practice, the more we bring our awareness to the breath, the more often we will do this throughout the day as well. So walk the heels together, reach both arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms away from your body. Become as long as possible. Point the toes. Keep breathing deeply. Notice how the air expands into the sides of the ribs. And then keep your fingers interlaced, bring them towards your body, bend the right knee, and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left leg down and relaxed. Point and flex the right foot, wiggle the toes. Gently rock the legs side to side. And then bring your hands around to the back of the thigh, straighten out the leg, lifting the heel up towards the sky. Find that length through the hamstring and calf. Try and keep the shoulders, glutes, and left leg down and relaxed. And then bend the knee about 90 degrees. Place the right hand on top of the knee or the upper right shin. Left arm is out to the left side of the body. Let's move with our breath. Inhaling. Exhaling, lowering the right leg down towards the right side of our mat. So we want to feel that stretch through the right inner thigh. Our left leg is as relaxed as possible. Try and keep the hip down and grounded on the mat. And then lift the leg up as you inhale. Switch your grip. And exhale, cross the right knee over to the left side. Let the right hip lift off of the floor. Gentle spinal twist, keeping the right shoulder rooted to the mat. Good. Let's release. And then lower the right leg all the way down to the ground. Switching sides. Bend the left knee, hug it in towards the chest. Point and flex the foot. Rock the knee side to side. And then bring your hands around to the left hamstring. Flex the foot, reach the left heel all the way up, straightening out the knee. Draw the leg in towards you little by little till you feel that stretch along the back side of the leg. Keep the head and the muscles along the face, jaw, and throat relaxed. Good. Let's bend the left knee. Bring the left hand to the top of the knee or upper shin. Right hand out to the right side. Inhale. Exhale, open the left leg to the left. And if you find that you're kind of reaching or that leg is pulling your left arm too far to the left, meaning your shoulders are coming out of alignment, just change your grip. You can bring your left hand to the back of the left thigh if that maintains a nice long upper body. Good. Let's inhale the left leg back up towards the sky, switch our hands. Exhale, gently cross the leg over to the right. Keep the left shoulder grounded. You can look upwards or over to the left. Good. Let's inhale left knee all the way back up and exhale it down to the floor. Bring your arms up to shoulder height, bend the elbows, let the fingertips reach towards the sky. So we're creating those cactus arms. Elbows are bent 90 degrees, chest is opening, collarbones nice and wide. Moving with the breath, inhale, fingertips towards one another overhead. Exhale, draw the elbows in towards the waistline. Feel that space moving between the shoulder blades, so between the upper back. So inhale, slide the hands up. Exhale, draw the elbows in. And you can adjust the legs if you feel this is more comfortable with the knees bent, getting the lower back a little bit more grounded. Give it a try. But we really want to focus on that space in the upper back. So if you reach a point in this movement where your hand or elbow or forearm is popped off of the floor, that's totally normal. Try and relax it down. So as our chest and shoulders get tight, sometimes we find little pockets in our flexibility and mobility that are just not quite where we need them to be. So if you find that your hand is popping up, just kind of take a breath, pause your movement for a moment, and try and relax that hand down. It might not get there today, that's okay, but the more we acknowledge it, the more likely we'll work on getting that to open up. All right, one more. Elbows in towards the sides of the body. Then bend both knees, pull them in towards your chest. And let's rock side to side. Give ourselves a little back massage. And then tuck your chin towards your chest, cross your ankles. Let's roll along the length of our spine. So the more we can round the back, the easier and more fluid this will feel. And then come up to a seated position, keeping the ankles crossed. Let the outsides of the thighs drop down towards the mat. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears and stack your shoulders over your hips. Let's inhale both arms up, biceps next to the ears. Become as tall as possible, inhaling. And as we exhale, hinge forward. So when you feel that stretch through the outsides of the hips, drop your hands down, bring your chin towards your chest. Hold it here, breathing deeply. Maybe you can inch your fingertips out a little bit further, find a little bit more length. Now, inch your hands over towards the right corner of the room, and then cross your left hand on top of the right. Just a little extra stretch through the left side of the rib cage and shoulder. Good. Walk hands back through center, over towards the left corner of the room, and then cross your right wrist over the left. Good. Hands back towards the center. Lean forward into your palms. Come onto your hands and knees. Maybe like me, you need to adjust yourself and walk it back on the mat. Go for it. We just want to make sure our fingers are spread wide, palms are under the shoulders, knees are under our hips. It's up to you if your toes are curled or feet are flat, whatever feels most comfortable. We're going to do a couple cat-cows. So let's exhale, really arch the back, draw the chin in towards the chest, and then as you inhale, round the spine, lift up through the crown, drop the belly low, lift the tailbone up, spiral the hips out wide. So exhale, arch the back. Inhale, round the spine. Move at your own pace, matching your movements to your breath. Good, and let's come to a neutral spine. Draw the abs in. Let's get them warmed up as well. So we're going to do a couple bird dogs. So right arm, left leg, nice and long. So pull the navel in to help support the body, keeping that nice long line down the length of the back. Exhale, bend the knee and elbow, tuck the chin, arch the back. So inhale, lengthen, and exhale, arch. Good. On your next inhale, let's hold the arm and leg out. Keep breathing deeply. Keep lengthening. Keep lifting upwards, really turning on those muscles along the back side of the body. Don't forget the abs. Draw them in. Use that transverse abdominis, that corset muscle in the deep layer of abs to pull everything in and give you the most support possible. Let's take one more breath and lower the hand and knee down to the mat. Good job. Let's switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, arch. Tuck the chin. So as you inhale, take just a nanosecond to pause at the top, really flexing, pressing through that heel, recruiting the muscles all the way down the back side of the body. Good, let's do one more inhale. Keep breathing, but hold it here. Longer, higher, drawing those abs in even deeper. Inhale, and exhale, hand and knee down to the mat. Sit your hips back on your heels. Let your upper body relax forward over the thighs. Notice your breath. Even it out. And then lift the head up, look at the space between your hands, spread the fingers wide, curl the toes, lift the tailbone up and back, downward facing dog. Reach down through the heels, finding lengths down the backs of the legs. Maybe you want to pedal the heels a couple times. And then walk the feet forward, keep the chin close to the chest. Look towards your knees, coming into our forward fold. Let the upper body just relax over the thighs. Maybe you want to swing side to side. Let the head, neck, and jaw relax. And now press into the soles of the feet. Keep the knees soft, round up, stacking the back of the body. Rolling the shoulders back away from your ears. Lift the chin off the chest and breathe. We'll move right into our sun salutation. So let's inhale together. Exhale, palms together at the center of our chest. Inhale, lift the arms up, gently arching back. And exhale, forward fold, fingertips all the way down to the mat. Inhale, big step back with the right foot. Lower the knee, drop the top of the foot to the mat, and hips down and forward. Curl the right toes. Exhale, left leg back to plank. Draw the abs in. Inhale. And exhale, lower, knees, chest, and forehead, or chaturanga. Inhale, slide forward, lift through the crown, look upwards. And exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. And exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at the knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. And exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold, fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, right leg back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest. Exhale, curl the toes, hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. And exhale, release, arms by the sides. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold, fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, left leg back to plank. Inhale, exhale, lower, knees, chest, and forehead, or chaturanga. Inhale, slide forward, press the palms, lift the chest, looking up. Curl the toes, exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. And exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, right leg back to plank. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, slide forward, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. And exhale, release. Shoulders back, away from the ears, take a nice deep breath. I'm feeling very warm now, I hope you are too. The beauty of virtual yoga is you can always go get a drink if you need one. So let's move into balance. Tonight we are going to focus on really opening up and lengthening the hips, meaning the quads, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, okay? So we're gonna work a little bit on dancer pose. I know, everybody's favorite. So let's root down through the left foot, spread the toes wide, knee is soft, shoulders are back. When you're ready, bend that right leg so we can catch the foot in our right hand, all right? If that's not working for you tonight, because that needs some real hamstring speed and power, if that's not working, just lift up that leg, slide the hand down to meet the ankle, and then rotate the kneecap down towards the mat. So either lift is fine, but if you're up for a challenge, practice that kind of kick up in the back. So we want to make sure our left leg is centered or stacked over the foot itself. Sometimes when we pick one leg off the ground, we start to shift our weight and kind of come into a parentheses shape, but we want to be nice and tall. So root down through the left foot, knee should be straight but not locked, soft bend there, and our hip is stacked over the knee, over the ankle. Our abs are drawn in to help give us some support, and our shoulders are back and away from the ears. Left hand can stay on the hip, or if you prefer, you can reach it all the way up, bringing the bicep next to the ear. Tonight, I'd like you to focus on less about leaning forward and more about lifting the back toe up behind us, okay? So once you're in this position, again, of course, we need to do a slight lean, but think about reaching your right toes high as you can up towards the ceiling. And let your body lean forward, reaching towards that point you're focusing on, but think about actively using the glute and the hamstring to help lift your toes up a little bit higher. Keep breathing. Good, let's roll our shoulders back, bring them back over the hips. Begin to lower that leg so it's parallel with the left, lowering the left arm and the right foot back to the mat. Roll the shoulders out, take a couple deep breaths, shake out the legs, maybe move to a different spot on your mat if you've really compressed it, or move to hardwood floors or tile if that's what's under your mat that might be a little bit more steady. So switching sides, rooting down through the right foot now, same setup as before, move at your own pace. Check your alignment and move when you're ready. Don't forget to breathe. So work on lifting those toes up rather than just leaning forward. So an active stretch here. Our glutes should be firing. and turned on. Let's take one more breath and then release with control. Good. All right. Shoulders back. Deep breath. Well done. Okay, so coming to the top of our mat, let's take a nice big step back with the right foot. So nice and wide. We're going to move right into Warrior Two. So we have a long stance. Left heel points towards the right arch. Our shoulders are staying over our hips. Our arms are extended. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend the left knee. Stack it over the ankle. Turn your head looking to the left. Glance down a moment. Make sure that kneecap is pointing towards the middle toe. And then just set your gaze past your fingers. It's something that's not moving. Even out your breath. Excellent. Let's flip the left palm. Keep your legs exactly where they are. And we're going to inhale, reach the left fingertips up towards the sky as we relax the right hand down, just gently placing it along the right leg. We want to feel this stretch through the left side of the abdominals. So look upwards. Continue breathing deeply. Continue sinking down into that left leg. Good. Let's release. Come back to Warrior Two. Moving into extended side angle now to get a little bit deeper into the inner thigh. Let's take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, you can bring the left forearm to the left thigh or left hand down to the mat just inside the left arch. Our hips are dropping down and forward, and we're sweeping the right arm forward, bicep next to the ear. If your knee has come forward and it's over the ankle, you may want to try walking the right foot back and increasing your stride length a little bit. That'll add a little bit more stretch, a little bit more length to the left inner thigh. Let's take one more breath. And then exhale, press into the left foot. Straighten that leg out. Bring the torso and arms all the way up. Let the right arm come back to the right side of the body. Rotate the left foot so our feet are parallel to one another and roll the shoulders back. Take an inhale. And exhale. Hinge forward. Fingertips come down to the floor. Let the upper body relax. Draw your chin towards your chest so you can see through the legs. And breathe. Can you walk your hands back, bringing them between the feet or further back behind you on the mat? This will bring your chest closer towards your thighs, intensifying that stretch. You can always rotate your hands so your fingertips point away from your torso. All right, let's lift the head, neck, and chest so our torso is parallel to the floor. Let's take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to rotate the chest, bringing it towards the right thigh. So we're rotating the whole torso, reaching our hands down towards the right ankle or foot, dropping the left shoulder towards the space directly under the torso on the mat. Good, let's release that foot or leg. Come back through center, lift the chest, torso parallel. And now rotate to the left. Center the chest towards the left thigh. Walk your hands down towards that foot or ankle. Reaching the right shoulder down towards the mat. Good, let's release, walk the hands back through center, And then walk the toes and heels together until the feet are under your hips. Let's pause for a moment in a forward fold. So one more time. Exhale, bring your chest towards the thighs, tuck your chin towards the chest, bring your hands around to the backs of your legs, pull the chest in closer, reaching the crown of the head down towards your toes. Find a little bit more length if you can. Good, let's release. And round up, stacking the back, shoulders back. Good. Step to the top of our mat again, back to mountain pose, and we'll switch sides. Warrior two, this time left leg steps back, nice big stride, hip, shoulders, and chest towards the left edge of the mat, arms extended, inhale. Exhale, we're only moving the right knee towards the top of our mat. Our shoulders remain over the hips. That knee is pointing towards the middle toe, so we're opening through the inner thigh. Turn your head and look past your right fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And now flip the right palm towards the sky, easing the left hand back along the left leg, reaching up through the right fingers for peaceful warrior. And let's come back to warrior two. Inhale, exhale into extended side angle. You can take the variation with the right forearm along the right thigh or right hand down to the mat. Feel free to open your stance here to get the best stretch possible, or I should say the most stretch possible. Keeping the left shoulder back, left bicep next to the ear, tilt the chin up, and look at the left palm. Let's inhale and exhale, press into the right foot, straighten out that leg, come all the way up, left hand back to the left thigh, shoulders back, and rotate the right foot so feet are parallel to one another. So I'm going to turn and face you. Now, we're going to actually bring our feet a little bit closer together, so not quite as wide of a stance as we did for our standing wide leg forward fold, because now we're going to work on stretching the inner thighs. And I find if my legs are a little bit closer, I get a little bit greater range of motion, okay? So feel free to adjust at any time. So once we have our legs in a wide but not widest position, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, roll our shoulders back, create a nice long spine from head to tailbone. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, hinge forward. So now we're going to stop when our body is parallel to the mat, or I should say our torso is parallel to the mat. So we're going to reach our arms straight down. Chances are the fingertips won't touch. That's totally fine. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, bend the right knee, reach back through the tailbone, and shift the weight into that right leg. So now we should have a straight left leg and feel that stretch from the upper inner thigh all the way down the inside of the left leg. Now that the right leg's bent, your fingertips may touch the mat. If they still don't, that's fine. You don't need them to. They can remain on your hips the entire time. They're really just for balance purposes. So reach back through the tailbone, keep shifting the weight back behind you, and feel that stretch. Breathe into it. If it's too intense, straighten out the right leg a little bit. Let's take one more breath. And as we exhale, press into the right foot, straighten out the leg, keep the torso parallel to the mat. Let's take a breath here in center. And exhale, opposite side, shift the weight into the left foot, bend the left knee, reach back through the tailbone. Now we're feeling the stretch all the way down the inside of the right leg. Keep the chin towards the chest so the upper neck is not strained. And let's release, straighten out the left leg, come back to center. So we're gonna move into a posture we don't do often, and unfortunately I have to admit this is because I don't like it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be practicing it, right? Okay, so we're gonna move into frog pose. So this one can be very challenging because it's an inner thigh stretch, but we can sometimes feel it
uncomfortably in the knees. And that's simply because our inner thighs are really tight. So since the inner thighs are tight, the hips are not opening as much as they should, and that opening sometimes puts pressure on the knee joint. The knees want to move side to side, which we know that they don't do. So if you are feeling pressure, pain in the knee joints, not the inner thighs, the knees, that means we need to have a narrower stance. Your hips will be higher off the ground. You'll see what I mean in a second. So from this wide leg stance, we're going to bend our knees into a squat. We're going to walk our hands forward, and we're going to lift our heels off of the mat so we can lower our knees down to the floor. Okay? So from this position, you can see my knees are still in line with my ankles. So it's the inside of the knee that's met the mat. Okay? From here, we're just going to lean our upper body down. I already feel this stretch quite intensely through my inner thighs, but if you're different, if you have more flexibility here, maybe you can walk your hips, or your knees, I should say, a little bit wider. But again, keep in mind the ankles should be straight back behind the knees. Okay? We're not trying to sink the tailbone back to the mat between our heels. We're keeping the body and the torso parallel to the ground. If you can come down to your forearms. But again, the objective is to stretch the inner thighs. All right, excellent. So we're going to walk our hands back, curl the toes under, and press back into our wide leg forward fold, and let the upper body relax down towards the thighs. Let the head and neck relax. Good job. Let's just round up for a second. Take a couple breaths. Back in mountain pose with our feet under our hips. Shake out the legs. So your legs might feel a little bit different, simply because those are a couple intense stretches. We tend in our everyday movement to really work and challenge the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings. So the muscles along the outsides and the insides of the thighs and hips do not get enough attention because we simply just don't do as much side-to-side movement as we do forward and back and up and down. So those muscles can really get tight when we sit or when we run and walk and don't stretch or strengthen these other muscles. So it is important to pay attention to them. I know that's why mine are so tight because I run and don't think about the side to side as much. So you may feel the same. So let's make our way down to the mat. We're going to move down into our balance on the balls of our feet. You can move into this any way you prefer, whether that's straight down through chair with the heels up and sinking down to meet the heels, or if that's a forward fold, hands on the mat, bend the knees, and lower the hips down. Whatever way you move into this posture, find a point to focus on. Little by little, inch the hands off of the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Let's try and stack them over the hips. So when we roll the shoulders back and stack them over our hips, the knees shift slightly to make that balance possible. So sometimes we end up sitting like this, okay, with our shoulders forward. But let's really try to challenge those muscles along the feet and the ankles by dropping the knees and rolling the shoulders back. Good. Let's lower the fingertips down. Gently lower the knees now. Keep the toes tucked, stretching out the soles of the feet. Roll the shoulders back again and take a couple deep breaths here. If it's too much, lean forward and lift your hips. Good. Hands down to the mat. Flatten the tops of the feet and take a nice deep breath here in hero pose. All right, shoulders back, couple circles, swing the arms. Good. Let's lift our right arm up, bend the right elbow. Use the left hand to pull the right elbow towards the midline of the body. Keep the fingers relaxed. Just let them kind of gently rest between the shoulder blades. Our chin is naturally a little bit closer to the chest. And then you can continue to hold this position or moving into the variation holding hands. Bring the left hand to the lower back, slide it up the spine, and reach the left fingers for the right. If you can't quite touch the hands today, that's fine. You can continue to hold on the shirt or another place on the back, or you can bring your left hand back up to the elbow. Good, let's release. Swing the arms out, and we'll switch sides. So left arm up, bend the elbow, right hand, use it to assist, pulling the elbow towards the center. Keep the left arm where it is, or I should say, and the right arm, or try the variation where you take the right hand and slide it up the spine. One side is always a little bit tougher than the other, so feel free to give it a try. This might be your good side. Excellent. Let's release and shake it out. Okay, walk the hands forward on the mat. Let's come back to downward facing dog. So curl the toes, lift the knees, reach the tailbone up and back, rotate the creases of the elbows forward, and breathe. Maybe pedaling your heels. On your next inhale, let's reach the right leg up towards the sky. And as we exhale, step forward, bring the foot between the hands. Drop the hips down and forward, coming into our low lunge. Lengthen the spine, reach through the crown of the head, forward. And let's keep the left hand where it is, press into the palm, rotate the chest towards the right inner thigh, reach the right hand up towards the sky. Keep pressing back through the left heel. Good, let's bring the right hand back down to the floor, gently lower the left knee and flatten the top of the foot to the mat. Walk your hands up the shin to bring them to the right thigh. Roll the shoulders back. Continue to drop the hips down and forward. And press the top of the left foot down deeply into the mat to help spread out that weight so it's not just in the left knee. Take a couple breaths here. See if you can sink your hips down and forward a little bit more. Good, let's bring our hands to the mat. And we're going to press our hips back, walking the hands back as well, straightening out the right leg, lifting the toes, lengthen through the spine, and fold forward, lowering the chest towards the thigh. Good, let's walk the hands forward, lower the right toes back down to the mat. We're back in our low lunge. Once again, I'd like you to walk your hands up so they're resting on the right thigh. Roll the shoulders back, take a deep breath. And this time, bring the hands behind the tailbone, interlace the fingers, and I want you to imagine sliding your thumbs down that back leg and reaching your knuckles towards your left heel. So our chest is opening, lifting towards the sky. We're going to tilt the chin up and look upwards, keeping our hips down and low. So this is a gentle back bend. If it's too intense, just lift the shoulders up slightly. Press down through that right foot to help you maintain balance. And let's release. Release the hands, drop them back down to the mat, framing the right foot. And once again, we're going to take an inhale. And exhale, press the hips back, straightening out the right leg, lengthen the spine, and fold forward. So really flex that right foot if you're not already, feeling the stretch in the calf as well. Good, let's release, walk the hands forward, lower the right foot back to the mat. We're going to lift up one more time, or I should say we're going to lift up now into high lunge. If you'd prefer not to lift the back leg, you can keep it where it is and just come back to the posture with the chest lifted. However, if you're coming into high lunge, let's try and curl the toe, lift the back knee off the mat, or you can try the variation with the whole side of the foot glued to the mat. But prepare the back leg now, and let's take an inhale. Exhale, pressing into the right foot, lift the chest. So walk that hand up to the right thigh, roll the shoulders back, keep the hips down and forward, maintaining that long line through the back leg. If your heel is lifted, press it away towards the wall behind you. Find a point to focus on and breathe. Let's take one more breath. And exhale, fold forward, hands down to the mat, lower the left knee if it's not there already. And one last time, let's shift the hips back, straighten out the right leg, lift the toes, lengthen the spine, and hinge forward. Maybe you can walk your hands back out and place them along the right leg, kind of pulling your chest down a little bit closer if you'd like to intensify this. If that feels too wobbly, that's fine. Place your hands back under your shoulders. Good, let's release, walk the hands forward, lower the right toes, and let's step back to downward dog. Pedal the heels, maybe look side to side, and breathe. Switching sides, inhale, left leg up, and exhale, step it forward between the hands, coming to our first low lunge on the left leg. Hips are down and forward, settle in. You now know it's coming, we're gonna be here a while. So breathe deeply. Let's now press deeply into the right hand, rotating the chest towards the left inner thigh. Lift the left arm up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So try and keep your hips steady. This is rotation from the upper body. Let's take one more breath. And exhale, lower the left hand down, framing the foot, lower the right foot to the mat, lower the top of the foot to the mat. Good. Walk the hands up the left leg, roll the shoulders back, stack them over your hips, keep the hips down and forward. Hold it here and continue to breathe. Good, let's walk our hands back down to the mat and shift the hips back for our first hamstring stretch. Lifting the toes, lengthen the spine, fold forward over the thigh. Good, walk the hands forward, coming back into our low lunge. Take a deep breath. And now let's walk our hands up the leg again, roll the shoulders back. This time, interlace your fingers. Try and interlace them the opposite way. So oftentimes we always put one hand on top. Try and switch it up, it'll feel super weird. But give it a try, roll the shoulders back, slide the knuckles down the back of that leg, opening the chest, lift the chin, look upwards. Good, let's release, roll the shoulders back over the hips, release the hands, wiggle the fingers. Bring the hands down to the mat, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk the hands back, straightening out the left leg, lift the toes, hamstring stretch. Good. Let's release. Walk the hands forward. Back to our low lunge. Here we go. Now we are going to lift into a high lunge. So feel free to take this version on this side, or you can keep your leg exactly where it is. Let's inhale. Exhale. Press deeply into the left foot as you inch your hands off of the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the hands to prayer position. And breathe. Can you sink down and forward a little bit more through the hips? Even as often as we practice, we all lift up a little bit, but we really want to stay nice and low. Good, one more breath. And then after you exhale, hinge forward, hands to the mat, gently lower the right knee, flatten the top of the foot, and let's shift our hips back into one more hamstring stretch for the left side of the body. Good. Walk the hands forward, lower the left foot, and we'll step back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. Notice how your hip flexors, quads, hamstrings are feeling. Let's lift the right foot up again. Before we move into pigeon, let's bend the right knee 90 degrees, and I want you to reach the outside of the right hip up towards the sky. So the knee remains bent. We're reaching up through the outside of that right leg and looking under the left arm to find the right heel. So we should feel this stretch through the abdominals. Good. Level out the hips. Keep that right knee bent. Let's pull it forward towards the chest. Lower the knee between the hands. Maybe a little bit more towards the right side of our mat. Relaxing the left leg back. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Come down to your forearms. Walk your hands out little by little if you can. We want to relax as much as possible. If you've got a block or a bolster or a couch cushion, you can place that under your forehead. Or you can place something under that right hip if you find yourself rolling towards the outside of the mat. Good, let's lift our head, neck, and chest up. We can hold it here with the shoulders back, propped up by the hands, or you can try the quad stretch, bending the left knee, reaching back with the left hand, grabbing a hold of the foot, and gently pulling it in towards the back of the body. Good, let's release. Left hand forward and stepping back again to downward facing dog. All right, lift the left leg. And again, bend it about 90 degrees. Let's rotate the outside of the left hip up towards the sky so our abdomen rotates towards the left side of our room. Look under the right arm for that left heel. Keep lifting up through the outside of the left knee, thigh, and hip. Good. Now pull the knee in towards the chest. So rotate the hips around, pull the knee in, lower it between the hands. Relax the right leg back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge forward. So these pigeons should feel good tonight. We've put a lot of work in for the hips and thighs. Good, let's release, lift the head, neck, and chest back up. Sitting up nice and tall. Feel free to try that quad stretch on this side as well, or just keep the body lifted using both hands on the mat. Good, let's release. Sitting down into the left hip, the leg that's already in the front. We're going to swing the right leg around and plant the right foot on the outside of the left knee or thigh. Root down into the right hip. Take a nice deep breath. Good, let's bring the right hand behind the body. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, lower it on the outside of the right thigh, opening the chest and upper back towards the right and looking over the right shoulder. Good, let's release, come forward and switch sides. So the right leg comes down to the mat in front of us, knee is centered in front of the body, left foot steps to the outside of the right thigh, root down into the left hip, take a deep breath. And then bring the left hand behind the back, sitting up tall, inhale, right arm up, exhale, lower it on the outside of the left thigh, opening the chest and looking over the left shoulder. Good, let's release, bring the chest forward, pick up that left leg, it can remain bent, just step it over in front of the left hip, and bring the right foot to the mat as well. So draw the abdominals in, roll the shoulders back, bring the hands to the outside of the legs, and let's move into boat pose, lifting our feet off of the mat, balancing here on the tailbone, keep pulling the abs, the navel in towards the spine. If you want more intensity, you can straighten out the legs. Good, let's lower the toes to the mat, keep the abs engaged, roll all the way back, lowering the back of the head to the floor. Take a deep breath, tucking the shoulder blades underneath you so our chest is open and collarbones are wide. Let's walk the heels a little bit closer. We're going to lift up into bridge. So reach your arms down along your sides. Fingertips are resting on the back of your heels. Tuck the shoulder blades in a little bit closer. Let's take a deep breath in. As we exhale, press through the feet. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Draw the knees in. Turn on those inner thighs so our legs are parallel to one another and the knees are in line with the hips. Our hamstrings and glutes are really working here to keep the body lifted. Good, let's take one more breath. And then gently exhaling, roll the back of the body down. So one vertebrae at a time, tuck the tailbone, lowering the back, and then the hips all the way down to the mat. Let's hug both knees in towards the chest. Rock side to side. And then draw the knees and thighs away from one another, moving into happy baby. Reach the arms through the legs, bring the palms to the top of your foot. Fingertips are reaching around the outside edges of each foot. Open the feet away from one another, bringing the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Now we're pulling the thighs and the knees in towards the mat, but I'd like you also to think about elongating the spine and reaching your tailbone down towards the floor as well. So we don't want to be totally rounded like a little ball or hedgehog, but think long, grounded torso. Good, let's release. Heels back in towards the hips. Hug the knees towards your chest. Roll side to side. Maybe you want to roll forward and back just a couple times. And then lower your hips down to the mat. Walk your heels out. Let the toes roll towards the outside edges. Let your body really relax as
much as possible. Maybe kind of distributing the weight in the hips or the shoulders, the head itself. And close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting your whole body relax, including your mind. Let go of any thoughts, plans, or ideas. And bring your awareness all the way down your body to your feet. And then mentally repeat after me. My toes, feet, and heels are releasing and relaxing. My toes, feet, and heels are released and relaxed. My ankles, calves, and knees are releasing and relaxing. My ankles, calves, and knees are released and relaxed. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are releasing and relaxing. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are released and relaxed. My abdomen and lower back are releasing and relaxing. My abdomen and lower back are released and relaxed. My fingers, hands, and wrists are releasing and relaxing. My fingers, hands, and wrists are released and relaxed. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are releasing and relaxing. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are released and relaxed. My chest, back, and shoulders are releasing and relaxing. My chest, back, and shoulders are released and relaxed. My neck, head, and face are releasing and relaxing. My neck, head, and face are released and relaxed. My mind is calm, my breathing is even, and I am completely relaxed. Bring awareness back to your body and begin to move your fingers and toes. Gently stretch your arms overhead and lengthen the body, awakening it. Reach your arms over to the right side and then to the left side. And then gently roll onto your right, taking a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, press your body back up to a seated position.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Namaste. Great job tonight, everyone. Thank you for working hard. I hope you had a good hour, a good practice for yourself for yoga. And I hope to see some of you on Wednesday. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Good night.